Hello, everyone, and welcome to Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. I'm your host, retired NYPD Sergeant Bill Cannon, a 27-year veteran of the NYPD. You know, as new information comes out, in this case, of course, the murder of Madeline Soto, we go back to the beginning and we go back to all of the things that have occurred, all the things that have been done investigatively by both the Orange County Sheriff's Office and by the Kissimmee Police. And the two great interrogators, are from the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and they are from what we would say in New York is the Special Victims Unit. In Florida, they're still calling it the Sex Crimes Unit. And these two, I'll name them by name, Detective Frank Hunt and Detective Mara Tadler. They did an outstanding job of interviewing both Madeline Soto and Stephan Sterns, because when this case first happened, and I look at it from an investigator's perspective, and almost immediately as an investigative detective sergeant, a boss on the scene, I would go to my detectives and say, I don't like this guy. I would have had my antennas up, and I would have sensed that Stephan Sterns was not right minute one, the minute I met this guy. And then you do the interviews, police interrogation of Stephan Sterns. And what we saw during this interrogation was deception, lies, and inconsistencies. And I read some of the chat before, and when I listened, and we'll listen to some of the interview later, when I listened to Stephan Sterns, I just want to shake the guy and slap him right across his face, because he is such a man-child. I don't even think he's a man. I really think he's really this demented person that has been coddled his whole life. Even his parents, they treated him like a child. They enabled him. They enabled this dirtbag, Stephan Sterns, to become who and what he was, which is a monster, is what and who he was. He was an absolute monster. So when we talk about the interview and the interrogation, to come up with the truth, and investigation is both parts art and science. And the art form is what you witnessed in these interviews and interrogation. That is the art of outstanding interviewing and interrogation. So where's the science? The science is putting together the other parts of the investigation, the digital evidence, the forensic evidence, checking the video that shows that he was lying, video that showed that he was riding around with a dead body in his car, a dead 13-year-old girl. The questioning of roommates, the questioning of other people in that complex, the double checking his story. And that is the art of police work, which they did an outstanding job on in this interview. Let's go back. So what did the investigators focus on? They focus on time, places, and locations. And those three things, Stephan Sterns couldn't get his act together. You know why? Because he was lying. He was lying all the time because he's not smart enough to tell or remember a story, because he has ADHD and he needs drugs just to get him through his day. This 37-year-old jackass of a man, 37 years old. He's an absolute child. This is how he talks. And I was riding up. I'm not sure I was going to the vape shop. I mean, I want to vomit when I hear this guy being interviewed. Is that how he got through life? By being this little weasel? No, we know he got through life in quite more nefarious ways than that. But then we hear people stick up for this guy, his parents, right? His parents, Deborah and Chris Sterns, making all kinds of excuses for this 37-year-old man. that they just couldn't believe. So what did the interviewers do? They let him talk. Let's let him talk. Let's see what he has to say. And good interviewers will let the interviewee talk because, as the old expression goes, let's give him enough rope to hang himself with. And good interviewers go into a box, they go into the interview room knowing certain truths. They know lots of truths. So when they hear the interviewee lying, it brings a smile to their face. Because people that have nothing to hide, they don't need to lie. But Stephan Sterns had a great, great deal to hide. He had so much to hide that he couldn't come up with a straight story. That damn McDonald's story. If I hear about McDonald's one more time, that seemed to be something that him and Jennifer Soto focused on. That was the only thing they could remember. Oh, we were supposed to get McDonald's, but she didn't want it. She didn't want it because she was dead. Some of the things that we've learned in the last couple of days it's enough to just make you crazy. And the police had this information right from the very beginning. They didn't release it. And now we know also she died of strangulation. That is according to the medical examiner, based on a displaced hyoid bone, which is one of the medical signs of death by asphyxia, death by strangulation. So at some point, Stephan Sterns strangled this little girl. And the big mystery right now that everyone's asking the question is, how did he get her from the condo into the car without anyone seeing him, without being caught on camera doing that? How did he do that? Because he had to carry her, didn't he? Because we know that when they found her body, she had white socks on and there was no dirt at the bottom of the socks. So she couldn't have walked by herself, could she have? And the other thing we found out yesterday, remember, we knew right away from Chief Mena from the Orange County Sheriff's Office that at 7:35 hours, Stephan on February 26th, the day Maddie disappeared, Stephan Sterns was seen throwing a backpack, a laptop into the dumpster. And what they also recovered was one white Croc belonging to Madeline Soto. And what we learned yesterday was the second one was in Jennifer Soto's bedroom. Many people think that that ties Jennifer Soto into the murder of her own daughter. I don't think that. I think that Madeline Soto was murdered in guest room number 4 upstairs, which we hear that I cringe. Guest room number 4, that she stayed the night with Stephan Sterns in guest room number 4. So the big, big $1 million question is, did Jennifer Soto know? And when did she know? At some point she knew Stephan Sterns killed her daughter. But what point was that? How early was that? Did she know that this monster killed her daughter? So getting back to the interview, the interrogation, we don't want to know times, places, locations. How about inspect the body of the suspected killer? Why would we do that? Well, no one that gets killed or strangled does it willingly. They fight back. So Stephan potentially could have had scratches on his face, on his arms, on his back, as young little Madeline struggled to save her own life. The detectives did that. They did inspect his body. Cuts, scrapes on his arms, his face. What was Stephan Sterns' demeanor like? Well, we'll get to that. We'll listen to some of his well, not his confession, his interview. He sounded like a little weasel. You could tell he was lying. He got upset a couple of times when they caught him in lies. You know, I was going to the vape shop. The vape shop wasn't open. I was looking to see if the lights were. It's too hard to listen to this guy. And I waited outside the vape shop, and they caught him in a lie. They caught this man in a lie, this man-child, as they would say. Was it just that he has a horrible recollection of facts and circumstances and times because he's got ADHD, this 37-year-old ADHD victim? Or is it because he's always drugged up on some type of drug? So what that he told the detectives makes sense and what didn't make sense? That's what we're going to look into tonight. So, folks, hold on to your thoughts, hold on to your hats, hold on to your loved ones, hold on to your service dog, your cup of coffee, your glass of wine. You're about to enter true crime from a police perspective. You're about to enter the off-the-cuff zone, the police off-the-cuff zone.
There has to be some common sense.
Yes, sir. They have the car stopped at 10th and Ranch Microbizer.
We still don't know who pulled the trigger.
You know, some of the new facts and new circumstances, and well, we didn't know till a couple of days ago when some content creators on YouTube came up with some documents on the basis of filing a Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. They used to call it FOIL, Freedom of Information Law. And they received the autopsy report and they had cause of death. And we knew then that it was strangulation. I sort of thought that, but when I heard that there was a gun in guest room number 4, that concerned me a little bit. But if it was death by gunshot, it would have made a lot of noise. So it would have made sense that this was the way this little girl was murdered by this, I can't even call him a man, this man-child. I want to play this from WES TV, Channel 2.
New documents today in 13-year-old Madeline Soto's murder case. She vanished 6 months ago, and Kissimmee police just released dozens of pages revealing new information about what happened to her. West 2's Bob Hazen has been digging through this report that includes a possible cause of death.
This report says that Maddie was strangled and murdered, and it also says that the accused killer searched the internet for a powerful anesthetic. Police searched the cell phone of Stephan Sterns very soon after 13-year-old Madeline Soto disappeared. We already knew that they allegedly found pictures and videos of him sexually abusing Maddie in the home where she lived with her mom in Kissimmee. But this new case supplemental report from Kissimmee police also says they found his Google searches, and they included looking up the drug sevoflurane. That's described as an anesthetic often used in surgeries. It can cause hypnosis and amnesia, plus cause a person to lose the ability to move their muscles. The report notes, quote, "It is unknown why Stephan would be searching this item using the search terms of show up in drug test when he wasn't attempting to get a job or he didn't have any children that were having surgery. Those searches were done a week and a half before Maddie's murder." Detectives also describe some of the abuse images and say it looks like Sterns took many of those pictures while Maddie was asleep. On Maddie's final night, she had just had a party for her 13th birthday. Her mom, Jennifer Soto, didn't go to the party because she said she had to work late. And when she got home, she told police that she sent Maddie to bed alone with Sterns in this upstairs bedroom. She never saw her daughter alive again. Sometime either that night or the next morning, investigators believe Sterns strangled Maddie, breaking a bone in her neck. In Osceola County, Bob Hazen, West 2 News.
So that was some brand new information also, this drug that he used. And it's not a mystery why he got that drug. It's not a mystery at all. It goes totally with his MO, his modus operandi of who he is, why he was using it. So it's absolutely and the other thing is the news reporter said incorrectly, the hyoid bone wasn't broken, it was misplaced. That was the language that was used in the autopsy report. Because that, you want to be clear, it wasn't broken. So what level of force was used to cause the asphyxia? I mean, obviously it was enough to kill her, right? And so these are some of the questions we asked, and these are some of the questions that we all have. So how did the police, how were they able to come to all of these conclusions? Well, response to the scene, right? And I told everyone early on in this investigation, one of the first things that is done in a missing person, this started out as a missing person case, didn't it? A missing person is to search the home of the missing person. That's one of the first things the police are supposed to do. And then when they started not liking what they were seeing, when they started seeing inappropriate behavior, inappropriate activity from Stephan Sterns, they decided to kick it up a little bit. I think we got to kick this up a little bit, and we got to treat him and perhaps Jennifer Soto as suspects in this case, because he's not acting appropriately. And what does that mean? Well, he's lying. When we ask him questions, he's not telling the truth. He's absolutely not telling the truth. When we look at a case like this also, strange living situation, wasn't there? The mother, Jennifer Soto, the boyfriend, 2 other roommates live in this condo. The mother is sleeping by herself, and the daughter is in guest room number 4 with the mother's boyfriend sleeping. Would that raise a red flag to any of you in true crime land? You bet it would. You bet it would. And as I said, the minute I would have met a Stephan Sterns, he would have been right on my radar as suspect numero uno. The fact that they didn't go out on the night of the 26th to help search for Madeline was a huge red flag for me. So they're back at the house. Everyone else is out searching for Madeline. Well, Stephan knew not to search. He knew he killed her, and he knew where he put her. So my question to you is also, did Madeline Soto know that too? Did she know at that point that Jennifer Soto was dead and that she was protecting Stephan? These are some of the questions that we have to ask. We have to ask. Now, the video canvas early on showed that Stephan Sterns left the condo, I think it was at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and with what appeared to be a dead Madeline Soto in the front seat leaning to the left. And then he came back later on to another entrance at about 8:15, 8:30, and drove in there in front of a security guard. Obviously, that security guard has been interviewed. What did he see? What did he notice? So all of these things are just absolutely horrific, and brings us to of course, the interviews, which is some of the greatest work that was done on this case, was the interviews by these 2 detectives from Orange County Sheriff's Office, Special Victims Unit. I'm going to play a little list from Anganette Levy.
I'm going to say 7:30, 8 o'clock.
And was it just Steph? Who else lives here?
I have roommates.
Okay.
I have Angelica Negro. Is one roommate, and then Natalie Rosero.
Okay. And you just heard all of them, or did you hear anyone in specific?
No, I just heard, if anything, Stephan came and woke me up accidentally because he was trying to let the dog out.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog gets really nervous sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to help him with that, get him on his leash. But he got him situated and took him for a walk.
Okay. Did you hear around 7 or 8?
I heard noises in the kitchen, but I'm not sure,
Not sure who it was exactly.
who it was exactly, yeah.
Gotcha.
It could have been any of the roommates.
But you didn't see her leave Monday morning. Were you still in bed or still in your room?
I was still asleep, yeah.
Gotcha.
That week, canines checked out the cars belonging to both Maddie's mother, Jen Soto, and her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, who had come to town that Sunday night. The dog barked at Jen Soto's car, but it's really not clear why. This was a cadaver dog, but detectives had said Sterns had Maddie's body in his car. Jennifer Soto told detectives she last saw Maddie on the evening of Sunday, February 25th, after she came home from work and after Maddie's birthday party.
So you last saw her Sunday night about what time?
I would say 11 p.m. before she went to bed.
And you were here at home? Gotcha. And where did she go to bed? Was she in her room, your room, or something else?
She actually slept upstairs with, we have a guest bedroom. We were all going to sleep together in the same bed, but I needed some good sleep. And I got a new job recently. I haven't been well rested. I needed some sleep. So I asked, hey, can you guys go to the guest bedroom upstairs? I knew he was going to get her ready.
Sterns and Maddie had spent the night in bedroom 4. There are photos of that were just released. Sterns said that Maddie had forgotten her phone when he took her to school that Monday morning.
I think you said she left her phone, right?
Yeah.
Where did she leave her phone at?
She left it in her room. She's ADHD. So am I, for that matter. So
You
is
left your
Mom.
phone too, huh?
Yeah.
And Sterns would actually say that he and Maddie both forgot their phones that morning. Newly released documents show what happened between 11 p.m. Sunday night and the next morning. That Sunday night at 11:39 p.m., Jen Soto texted Stephan Sterns, "Make sure she goes to bed right now." Sterns responded, "Okay, sweetie, good night." Jen responded, "Good night." 1 minute later, Stephan texted Jen, "She's built her nest and she's settling in now." Jen responded, "Okay, good." There's also health app data from Maddie's phone that shows her movements from Sunday night to Monday morning. That Sunday night at 11:19 p.m., the report says that Maddie's phone took 31 steps and climbed 1 floor, which matched the time when Jennifer sent Madeline and Stephan upstairs to go to sleep. There's no more activity from the health app listed until the next morning. At 7:05 a.m. on February 26th, Maddie's phone took 100.
So if we believe that Maddie is alive and that's just her phone charting her steps, at 7:35, Stephan is dumping her backpack, her one clog, and her laptop into the dumpster in that complex. So is it that between 07:05 and 07:35, Maddie was killed? Or was she killed during the night and Stephan Sterns just had her phone in his pocket as he moved her body down the stairs? These are some of the questions that obviously this brings to mind because of this digital evidence that we have here.
113 steps. 10 minutes later at 7:15, the phone takes 50 steps. And then there's no other health activity on that phone until 10:55 a.m. when Stephan arrived home to the residence. One of Maddie's friends also told police that she would have a text from Maddie every morning when she woke up. But not on the morning of February 26th. Maddie's best friend said she did not receive a text from Maddie. One of Jen Soto's female roommates was later interviewed and said she went to sleep around 2:30 that morning, and she said she was hearing noises coming from Stephan's room. She described the noise as someone putting stuff on a table, but in order for her to hear those noises, it would have to be significant based upon the noise would have to travel through 2 doors across the hallway. That same roommate said she saw Stephan that morning after she went downstairs around 10:30 a.m. and described Stephan as acting odd, going upstairs and downstairs and out of the apartment that morning. Stephan was also washing clothes that morning, which she had never seen him do before. Police searched the condo where Maddie lived with her mom. The makeshift bedroom on the first floor that belonged to Maddie looked untouched. She never slept there, according to her mother, but she hung out in that room during the day. Crime scene techs found one of Maddie's white Crocs in her mother's bedroom. That means she did not wear her white Crocs when she left the house that morning, as Sterns had claimed.
Anything else that we haven't asked you feels important? Maybe that might help us out.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble recollecting everything.
I'm gonna step away for a second.
Anything that you remember maybe she might have told you?
She didn't mention anything in particular. I made a joke about her Crocs. She wears Crocs and socks. So we were joking about that.
Crime scene techs said they found the mate to that white Croc found in the bedroom in the dumpster, where they also found Maddie's backpack and school laptop.
We have video evidence that shows Stephan Sterns discarding items in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 on Monday, February 26. Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster.
The sexual abuse and murder of Maddie.
So this is like, this is unbelievable evidence when you think about it, because it sort of gives a really an outstanding time frame with the phones, the cell phone measuring Madeline's steps. But obviously she wasn't the one walking. Stephan Sterns had a phone. She was already dead. She was already dead at this point. And the phone is moving. And just the time frames that Jennifer Soto was speaking about. Oh, the other big thing was that he never showed up at the birthday party on Sunday night. That was also new information that we found out that we didn't know at first, that he never ever showed up at that party. So that's some new information we also have. Let me put this back on the screen.
Going to stop at McDonald's and get breakfast.
There we
but
go with the
she
McDonald's
changed her mind
again.
last minute and did not want McDonald's.
Okay, why'd you find that out?
When did I find that out? When Stephan called me around 10:18 in the morning, I had stepped out to go get blood work done, and he had just let me know that he just got back home from running a few errands, and that I asked, did you guys ever just stop at McDonald's? And he said no, she changed her mind. He tried convincing her a few times, but she did not want McDonald's anymore.
By now, you know that Maddie never made it to school that morning, and the sheriff of Orange County has said that Stephan Sterns was actually driving around with Maddie's dead body in the car that morning.
At 8:19, we have evidence that shows Stephan Sterns returning to the complex, and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. So he returns to the complex, allegedly to get his clicker, you know, the clicker that opens the gate. So that's his excuse for going back to the complex. He drives back into the complex with her dead body in the passenger seat in front of a security guard. I guess the security guard didn't ask any questions. So he goes back into the complex with Madeline Soto's dead body in the front passenger seat of his car. You cannot make this stuff up, guys. Believe she was already dead at that time.
Search dogs had tried to pick up Maddie's scent to track her the night she was reported missing, but they couldn't pick up the scent. 2 nights later, on February 28th, the canine handlers wanted to try again.
Hey guys, so we're just gonna try to see if we could pull one more clothing for a collection of clothes, okay? That's okay with you guys? Yeah. We're gonna pull one more and then we're gonna have the dog sniff it out again and see if we can get another track going. Yeah. All right.
Can I get you like the last outfit she was wearing?
Has it been like with other clothes and all that, like your clothes?
It got mixed in with clean clothes and dirty clothes.
What do you think?
Is it on the floor there in the bathroom? It's in the laundry basket.
Were the other clothes not good enough?
No.
We just try to collect separate ones and then we separate all of them, just in case one was contaminated. We have something else we can use without having to come and bother you guys.
I was just thinking on Sunday, the last thing we had her. Sunday, she had a running one dish for everything you need. So I wasn't sure if that would be helpful, but that's mixed in with clean and dirty clothes, I think.
Is it other people's dirty clothes or is it
No,
her?
just hers.
Is her
What about
underwear?
like a pillow that she likes to sleep with?
Her underwear is
That,
not.
I mean, all that stuff works.
Yeah, but you slept on the pillow this morning.
Oh, that's right. I snuggled with her pillow.
Like, would she have
Underwear.
taken-
So they're looking for an article of clothing
Okay,
that the
and that
dog
hasn't
can
been
try
found
to sniff
then
to
that'll-
match up and
that's like the
search
closest
for
thing to her body,
yeah.
so.
Madeline's
That search
body.
using the canines was again unsuccessful. The next evening, on Thursday, February 29th, detectives were driving Jen Soto to a planned press conference.
My anxiety keeps my brain circling, just wondering, where is she? Is she okay? I hope she's fine. I just want my baby back.
During the ride, the detective asked Jen Soto again about Stephan and Maddie sleeping in the same bed. At times, the audio drops out. That's because it's redacted when Maddie's name is used.
I was very vigilant for the first few years of how he would interact with her and what he would do, and I would question if anything was weird, but nothing ever was truly weird. I'm just like, okay. I even had a rule for the longest time for sleepovers with him, as in if he were to sleep in the guest bedroom upstairs, and I would say, no, you guys can hang out and do whatever, but you're sleeping with me.
Understandable.
Just because even if I'd known him for 7 years, the idea of course it would be weird that he went out, a little girl sleeping with a man that's not her dad. It sounds weird, but so I haven't I trusted him enough to even to let that even happen that night, you know?
Yeah. I mean, is it common? Because I know you said you would never let him in the past, but is it common to let her sleep up with him or let them spend a lot of time alone together?
I think I'm gonna say I've let them sleep together less than what I can count on these two hands.
Okay.
Not much.
Is that unbelievable? And she like justifies that in her mind that she would say she let them stay in the same bed together less than she could count on two hands. That's what the sentence you should get. Well, you should get more than that for your stupidity and for allowing this to happen. It just absolutely outrageous. The glitzy Gigi, Jen comes across as one of the dumbest people I've seen on crime TV. She probably didn't know. She appears to be pretty naive, but once she realized it, she tried to protect him, and that's unforgivable. The glitzy Gigi, I 100% agree with you. You can't even imagine. Lady Guinevere, Stephan Sterns, total, complete sicko. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I want to play now a little bit so we can really appreciate the interview of Stephan Sterns. I'm going to play the second day on the 28th. And just to hear his whining, his lying, his deception is something I think to behold to the true crime fan of this, listening to this absolute dirtbag.
I don't know if there's any updates. The best person would be the other detective because he's the one that is in charge of all this.
I don't think I've eaten anything since yesterday.
Oh, we feel so bad for you.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys were.
When did you come back to help Jen? Is that her name?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, because you live down south, right? When did you come back up north to help her?
I just got here this weekend.
Do you remember what day it was?
Sunday. Sunday was her birthday party, so yeah, it was the evening after her birthday party. Sunday.
Okay. Do you remember what time you got here on Sunday?
8:30ish maybe.
Okay.
Some time to make sure that she was doing all her nighttime routines.
You know, here's a guy that just shows up. He hasn't been there for months, and it's his job to make sure she does all of her nighttime routines. I'm totally not buying that either.
You live in North Pole, right?
Yeah, I split my time between the two.
Is that on?
Split my time between the two.
Is that Broward County or?
Sarasota County, I believe,
okay.
or Charlotte County, either way. It's my parents' house. They're old. They need help these days. And they got a house full of poodles. It's chaos. So I needed to come back up here and just get away from that. Between two deaf old people yelling at each other and poodles. Yeah.
Here's this dirtbag, doesn't have a job. His parents are paying for his rent in his girlfriend's house. And he's complaining about these two old deaf people, who are his parents, who raised poodles. This jobless 37-year-old. And this is what they're listening to, the two detectives.
All the time. It's enough to drive anyone up a wall. Just very happy to be back here.
Did you, when you guys were looking for you guys look?
Me and her stayed local. It was all the rest of the family that mobilized and was beating the bushes. And
Did you guys drive together or separate?
I don't think we drove anywhere when we were looking.
You didn't drive anywhere?
Not that I recall.
He's just telling her right there on the 26th, they never went out to search for Madeline. Him and Jennifer never went out to search. This is the detective just finding this out during this interview.
Did you guys go anywhere last night? Is that media?
Maybe. I think Fox 35 or something was coming.
Let me tell him. Can you see it?
Okay.
I don't recall. You have to ask her if we went anywhere. I don't recall.
He doesn't recall this dirtbag. He doesn't recall.
To say it was a wreck. I don't.
And this would have been when?
I don't recall us going anywhere last night, but honestly, at that point, my brain was mush, and I was on so many tranquilizers to keep me stable.
You said Ativan?
Yeah.
Do you usually take that, or?
Yeah, I have a prescription. I haven't needed it in a long time, though. But
what's that for?
Anxiety.
Okay.
I was having these rolling panic attacks.
I'm getting anxiety just listening to this guy.
I'm breaking down, crying, and I just.
You got those. Sorry.
Thank you. Here you go. And it was the only way I could get to sleep last night. And then again this afternoon. That's why I missed your calls. I'm sorry. I took an Ativan and conked out for a few hours. It's the only time when I'm not crying.
And I remembered after that.
It's okay if I just pop down real quick.
So we're trying to get just a good idea, times, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm so sorry. I'm giving my best recollections. I'm not a morning person as it is.
That kills me. The morning.
So
He
a
says
lot of
that
the
about
time-
10 times. I'm not a morning person. I got ADHD. He overly apologizes, which is another sign of deception and out just stupidity. You'll have to hear how many times he apologizes.
Her best guess.
but we know that you go up Jongyang Parkway down. That's the road you usually take to take her. And then you make a left at that McDonald's, right? Which is the town loop.
You can make a left to get there either at the McDonald's or at Town Center itself. They both lead to the school.
So if you leave her at, just so you get a sense of direction, Jongyang Parkway goes northbound and southbound. So you're going northbound into Orange County, making a left at the McDonald's, which is the town loop. You said when you did drop her off at that medium, you said it was around 8:20 to 8:30-ish, somewhere around that time.
Somewhere in there, yeah. It was early, but not like outrageously early, you know?
So what would you estimate when you made a left at that McDonald's to be?
After I dropped her off?
No, I'm saying when you dropped her off.
First left by that McDonald's.
Yeah, when you first go, that first left that you make at the McDonald's.
It had to have been around maybe eight, maybe quarter after 8, sometime in there.
Okay.
Sometime between 8 and a quarter after, I think.
All right. So just so it's, you can kind of picture it here on the map. So you're going northbound. You make a left here around like 8:10, 8:15. Let's say 8:15, around there. When you get over here, you make a U-turn. You go back to the McDonald's. But you said that she still doesn't want the McDonald's.
Still doesn't want it. She was just going to eat the Danishes that I had given her.
So you're going up here now, still northbound on Jongyang Parkway. You make a left at Town Center this time.
Town Center, then make a right onto, yes.
And then you drop her off around like 8.
Dropped her off around halfway up the road there.
So keep in mind, all of this is still northbound.
Okay.
Right? You're still northbound on Jongyang Parkway. So why is your car seen going southbound at 8:10? I'll show you what location it is. McDonald's is over here. At 8:10, your car is seen going southbound at this intersection. So meaning going toward Kissimmee.
I had forgotten something. I had forgotten my gate clicker. I'm sorry. I forgot I had gone back to the house real quick.
See, he made that lie up right on the spot because they nailed him. He was going the wrong direction. So he just made this whole gate clicker story up. And these detectives are very cool because they know that he's lying, yet they don't really let on. They don't yell at him. You see in old detective movies, detectives screaming and yelling. That's not what detectives do. It's more of a psychological game. And the detectives have all the aces in this game of poker they're playing with this Stephan Sterns.
Quick after we left, because I forgot my gate clicker. I actually had to go through the front gate and use my parking pass to grab my clicker. So it was the wrong time. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was guesstimating these times. I'm not a morning person.
I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
Say it again.
So yes, we'd gone out.
How far did you get before you came back down when you realized you forgot your clicker?
Nearly all the way to the school. And then we turned around. We had plenty of time to kill, so it was time to go back. I rushed back, got the clicker.
Yes, moonlight view from the chat with a dead girl in the front seat. He's doing all of these things with a dead girl sitting in the front seat.
And that's when I came back here this
So
way.
you guys came back here to get your clicker.
Correct.
So when we look at the cameras in the front, it's going to show you coming back in
Correct.
here with her in the
yes,
car.
with her in the passenger seat.
Okay.
Yes.
I know it sounds like we're asking you stupid questions. Okay, we just want to verify
okay.
the
I'm
times.
sorry, I'm not being more help. I'm not a morning person.
I'm not
I
a
was
morning
half asleep
person.
as it was. I'm trying
The clickers to get where?
into our neighborhood.
Okay, and you forgot the clicker where?
I had forgotten the clicker here.
So how did you get in?
I was able to use my parking sticker for them to scan to let me through.
Okay, so could you not have done that after you dropped her off?
I could have, but I also like to come back in from the back gate a lot of the times, and I didn't know if I would be back right away. And sometimes they're busy up front, so it's better not to wait in a line.
What time is security usually there at the front gate?
They were there when I came through. He scanned my ticket.
So would it have not just made more sense to drop her off and come back since security's already there?
I don't know if it made more sense. It's just what I did.
Okay.
There you go. Oh, thank you.
Anything else that we haven't asked you feels important? Maybe that might help us out.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble recollecting everything.
I'm going to step away for a second.
Anything that you remember maybe she might have told you?
She didn't mention anything in particular. I made a joke about her Crocs. She wears Crocs and socks.
I hear that
We were
joke one more
joking about
time.
that.
Would she say she's usually like a happy go lucky girl?
Very happy. She brings a lot of joy. She's a very good girl. It definitely doesn't feel the same around here if she's not here. She was so happy too. She was looking forward to my visit here. She was looking forward to us all being together. She was just happy. She was just very happy.
Yeah, why did he need the gate clicker if he could get into the gate without it? That makes no sense whatsoever. He needed that.
So you'd say you guys have a pretty good relationship.
Yeah, definitely have a very strong bond. Since she goes to when gets in a fight with her and she needs someone to comfort her, and like I'm that person for her, you know.
How?
Good most of the time, you know. Not long ago, so she's getting the PMS mood swings, and when they butt heads, and so as well as you can expect, but otherwise very loving, very loving. This girl knows nothing but love here in this house. She hardly ever hears the word no. Double-edged sword that is.
How is she in school?
So-so. She's so-so in school.
Like grades wise,
she's
or
doing a
behavior?
lot better though. Apparently, she just made Student of the Week.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so we're very proud of her. And she's doing singing, choir, and she's sounding just amazing. She sang for me last night. I immediately wanted to show her the movie Sister Act because of the choir singing. It was so pretty. It reminded me. I told her I was very proud of her.
Folks, this is Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. If you're not subscribed, just hit that button on the screen, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell. Also, if you want to contribute to us financially, we have a Patreon with 4 different levels, and we have a YouTube channel membership with 5 different levels. We appreciate all of our friends, our fans, our subscribers that support this show. This is so hard to listen to this guy when we know what occurred. And I think that even when the detectives were interviewing him, they knew he was suspect numero uno, even right the first day. As soon as they saw his act and saw the act of Jennifer Soto, There's no doubt in my mind. And then when we started questioning him, he was so unclear. He was lying. He was deceptive, and detectives know that.
Does she have does she like video games, anything like that?
She does like video games, yeah. She plays Roblox, Minecraft. I think those are the two big ones that I know of.
You don't know her to like ever have any friends on there that she talks to, anything
She
like that?
does. She does group chats. She does like voice chatting too on it. Usually with like her cousins or her friends, and they'll all be playing Roblox or something, and, yelling at each other on the phone.
When's the last time you all lived together?
December.
December. Okay.
December.
And you said the reason was for your parents down there?
Yeah, going down to help them because they're getting on in age and they're making their end of life plans and they need someone to help out.
Can you unlock this one more time? Please?
Sure.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, are you guys done?
No, we're good.
The other detective mentioned that you did not have your phone yesterday.
Correct.
Tell me about that.
I left my phone at home in the morning too. I was so busy riding her to the door on time that I left my phone. She left her phone. We both left our phones.
Did you have your phone when you went to the smoke shop?
Not the first time after I dropped her off. I was still without it. I got my phone and went back to the smoke shop. Later when I got home.
And then I also noticed, I was checking your call history. I noticed that you don't have anything before this morning. Is that unusual on your phone?
No, it's a new phone. Stupid. I went to do an update yesterday morning, and I don't know what the fuck. Pardon me. I don't know what the heck I did, but somehow during the massive OS update, I managed to factory reset my phone.
Reset. That was the big thing,
contacts.
that he thought that he had deleted all of the bad stuff on his phone. So he tried to do a factory reset, but the boob didn't. So that is how they held him, right? In the beginning with all those horrific images, the 60 felony charges that they charged him with. Because Dopey here tried to do a factory reset. Well, so he claims. That's probably a lie too. And don't think that he forgot his phone. That was on purpose. Because as we all know, a phone is a walking, talking GPS device and tracks you everywhere you go. He didn't want that with him, did he? No. He left it at home on purpose.
All my information.
What time was that? Do you remember?
Sometime while I was hanging out with Jen. Jen might know. I looked at her and said, what did I just do?
Okay.
She might know better. I don't know what time it was. It was when I was here with Jen.
Okay. I don't think I have any other questions. Do you, Louis?
I don't know where my head was yesterday. It was so far up my backside.
That's okay. We understand. In the meantime, while we're waiting for all this to get sorted out, I am going to hold on to your phone, okay? I'll give it back to you when we're done. Okay? Do you have any questions for us?
How long are you going to need my phone?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting for my supervisor to call me.
My dad. It's just my dad's using that to get a hold of me and get updates.
They can call Jen's phone.
Okay.
Did the other detective give you his business card?
I believe so.
Okay, well, here's mine in case you want it for any reason.
Okay.
Okay? Do you swear that everything you told us is true?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. I know it's a little hectic right now. And then I know you were about to head somewhere. If you can just hang tight and refrain from going back in your car, please.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. I was actually going to move it over a spot.
No, just leave it here. It's fine. Thank you.
See that right now they're planning search warrants for everything. This is back on the 28th of February. Search warrant on his car, search warrant on his phone, even though he gave them permission to look through his phone. But I would have still wanted to get a search warrant, because if a judge would have said, "Oh, you can't get permission because he wasn't in custody because he wasn't under arrest," but some people fear the police; they're afraid of the police. A judge could say, "Oh, he didn't feel like that that he had a choice. He gave you permission because he was afraid." So I hope they did get a search warrant for that, because that would have made a lot more sense to do that, even though he did say, "Yes, you can look through my phone."
Case number 24-11313. Today's date is February 28th, 2024. The time is 00:16 hours. Speaking with Stephan again. Okay. So, as you guys know, they have, right? They've been going through the phone, and they noticed that there was like a lot of messages between you and can you explain to me what your relationship is between?
Yeah.
This is purposely being deleted because it's saying
Mostly things like, when are you going to call us? When are you going to come up here and visit? Hey, poopy head, get online. Things like that.
Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Your phone. I told you that I was gonna hold on to it, and that we would like to download your phone, right?
Okay.
Is this something that I have your consent to do, or do I need to get a search warrant for your phone?
It should be fine.
You're okay with us going through your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have the PIN to your phone?
42586.
Four 42586.
Now this is a huge thing that's happening right now, because she just got permission from him, and you heard it, right? The audio of it. Can I go through your phone? I don't need to get a search warrant, do I? And he says, "No, you can go through my phone," because he's giving her permission because he thinks that he factory reset his phone, and all of the bad things they could possibly find are gone. But guess what? They're not. They're not. And that's what he initially was arrested for the bad things on his phone.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. And then, okay, so when you guys FaceTime, what do you guys talk about?
There too. We're just chatting.
Okay. I noticed that at some of the times that you guys are FaceTiming, it's like really late. Is it normal for her to be in bed late?
Yeah.
Okay.
And her bedtime's usually around 10:30, 11 o'clock. I talk to them both before bedtime when I'm not here.
Okay.
10:30 is supposed to be her bedtime, but she gets to push it sometimes.
Okay. When you guys are FaceTiming. Okay.
Some phone to FaceTime with her, sometimes FaceTiming them both together on one of the phones.
Okay. And then
So isn't that a little bit strange? A 13-year-old girl at 10 o'clock, 10:15 at night, FaceTiming with her mother's boyfriend. What do you think, guys? You think that's a little strange? I think that's what the detective is trying to present that on this interview is, so what do you talk about? What do you talk about when you FaceTime a 13-year-old girl? Oh, what is it? What are you talking? And it's 10:30 at night. Why is she up FaceTiming with you at that hour? Yes, extremely weird, Maisie T. I find it very weird. And that's what the detective is trying to get him to say, which he did. because this guy has no boundaries, no parameters. He is just who he is. He is a pedo. And they're finding this out as they interview him.
You said that yesterday you accidentally factory reset your phone, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember what time that was?
No, it was sometime in the morning. I've been pushing off doing an update for a while.
Was that before or after you went to the smoke shop?
Before? I'm not sure. I'm not a morning person.
If he says that one more time, I'm not a morning person. Oh my God.
It's a newer phone. I was doing this update. It had some sort of weird option at the bottom that said something about reinstall everything, and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing.
Okay, can you
Jen was
explain
right
to
there
me, where were you? Like, were you in your settings?
I was following whatever the links were for the OS update.
Where I don't have an Android, so I don't know where.
I'm not super tech
Is
savvy,
it like
I'm so
a
sorry.
text? Was it?
It was a push notification that came in at the top that I had just been ignoring.
Oh,
for
like
a
up
long
here.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was a. It's a boneheaded maneuver.
Okay, and then where did it direct you to?
I don't know. It took me to a page with all the stuff in the system, and I clicked something. I wasn't paying attention.
Do you remember what it said? Like, what kind of update was it?
It was like a big OS update, and it had all these options, and it was like reinstall something with all the apps and stuff. Reinstall everything, the apps and stuff. I don't know exactly what I said. I pushed it, and it started doing the update, and then it turned into some sort of reset or something. I'm not sure how I did that.
Okay.
I was half asleep, and
then when you came back to get your key fob, what did you do when you got here?
ran inside, got the key fob, ran back out again.
Okay, where did you park?
Right up here, I think.
Okay. How long would you say you were inside your apartment for?
Literally long enough to run in, grab the fob, and come back out. So.
Okay, and then what did you do?
Most.
What did you do when you came back out?
Got back in the car and went back on the morning mission.
Okay. The camera has you in the complex for 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem about right?
Yeah, coming into the complex, driving around, parking, getting the fob, coming back out. Sounds about right.
All with the dead body
And
in
then-
my front seat. All with the dead girl in my parked car as I went into the house. The dead 13-year-old girl is in the front seat of the car at that point.
You leave. What time would you say you dropped her off at the school? Or not at the school, but in the area?
My estimate was sometime between 8:20 and 8:40.
Okay, the camera has you leaving the complex at 8:31.
8:31? Okay, so it must have been closer to 8:40 then.
Okay, and then after you dropped her off, did you go directly to the smoke shop?
I did. I went directly to the smoke shop. Waited. It was supposed to be open, but it wasn't. I waited a little while to see if they were just being slow about turning on the open sign. They weren't, so I went home at that point.
How long do you think you waited?
5-10 minutes maybe.
Okay, so if you drop her off at like 8:40, how far is a smoke shop from there to where you dropped her off?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many minutes. How far?
Did you go anywhere else after the smoke shop?
Sorry. I don't know. I don't think I went anywhere specific. I was just driving probably in the direction of home. But I don't remember stopping anywhere specifically.
And you were there for 5 to 10 minutes.
Roundabout, I think.
Okay, so like let's say you drop her off at 8:40. We don't see your car coming back south until 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing between 8:40 and 10 o'clock?
Cruising around a little bit.
Okay, but I asked you earlier, like what you were doing, and you said you were there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then you came back home.
Yeah, well, I went to the smoke shop, like I said. But I may have been meandering around the area, but I made my way home.
Okay, but I'm asking you earlier, right? And even like the first time we talked to you, you're not telling us that you're like, just cruising the area, like you're coming home. So I need to be able to explain.
This is the first time, if you notice in these interviews, that they are directly confronting him for lying. And they're not saying you're a liar. They're just pointing out what they know, that where they saw red light cameras, they saw video cameras showing him going in a different direction. And you can see or hear in his voice how frustrated he's getting. But they're not losing their temper. They're very cool. And they're tired. These detectives have worked probably, 24, 30 hours straight. And they're not losing their cool. Outstanding professionalism.
To my supervisors why there's such a time gap.
I mean, I don't know what to say. It was just a normal day. I didn't have anything important to do. The smoke shop was supposed to open soon, so I made my way over there. It wasn't any particular rush, though.
Okay, but can you help me explain to them, because I don't know the explanation or the answer to this question, okay? So can you help me explain to them why there's such a delay in the time?
No, can't explain it. I wasn't going anywhere in particular. I wasn't doing anything in particular. Just making my way to the smoke shop. Waited for them to open. They did not open. And then I left.
I'm 37. I don't work. I don't do anything.
Where did you go from there?
From the smoke shop, I went home.
Okay, the smoke shop is like 10 minutes from here, right?
15, 20-ish, something like that.
Earlier you told us it was 10 minutes.
Time is not a strong suit of mine. I'm guesstimating here.
I understand, but I have to be able to explain, where you were for an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And right now I can't explain that.
Okay. Smoke shop was supposed to open close to 10. I waited. They did not open. And I came home.
Okay. What time specifically was it supposed to open?
10 o'clock is when it's supposed to open.
So why'd you go at 8:40?
Like I said, I didn't go exactly at 8:40. I went to the smoke shop after I dropped her off.
But even if it was 9 o'clock, that still would have been an hour before they're supposed to open.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you think it would be open?
I didn't think it would be open. I was hoping I would get there early enough and wait for it to open.
So you would have waited an hour for it to be open?
I did not wait an hour. I got there maybe...
See, Stephan's getting a little annoyed right now. He's a little bit annoyed. I did not wait an hour, You also did not drop off Madeline, did you? But he's getting a little perturbed at this line of questioning.
It opened 15 minutes before it opened and just sat and waited.
But then you're seen coming at 10 a.m. when it's supposed to open, already coming down.
Leaving because it was supposed to open at 10 a.m. I waited a few minutes after 10. They were not opening, and that's when I left.
You did not wait a few minutes after 10.
What do you mean?
At 10 a.m., you were seen coming down southbound on Jongyang Parkway at the intersection of Jongyang
At 10
Parkway.
a.m., I was still in front of that shop waiting to see if they were going to turn on the open sign.
Okay, but if you dropped at 8:40 and you said you only waited for a couple minutes at the smoke shop, why would you still be there at 10?
I waited to see if it would open, and they did not open.
We got that part, but you said you were there for a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said you were there after a couple minutes after 10. So that's...
It doesn't make
sense.
I apologize for that. I'm trying to help you out the best that I can, but
Right. So like, if you drop her off around 8:40, let's say, give or take 10 minutes, you make it to the shop around 9, the smoke shop, and you sit there and wait for a couple minutes for it to open. You said you waited for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, right?
Mhm.
Does it make sense that you're still there at 10 o'clock?
I was there at 10 o'clock.
Okay, so what did you do before that?
I dropped her off and I made my way over. Not a direct route, but I made my way over there.
Did you stop anywhere on your way to the smoke shop?
I don't think so.
Do you have problems with your memory that you can't recall what you did?
I'm extremely ADHD. I'm sorry. So just details start to get fuzzy after a while. Even the times I'm giving you are my best guesstimates here. I didn't have my phone with me at the time, so I wasn't aware of exactly what time.
There's no time on your car?
Transpiring. There probably is, but it's not my car. It's my parents' car.
How certain are you that you were outside of the smoke shop at 10 a.m.?
90% sure.
What makes you think that you were there at 10?
I saw lights on inside the place. It looked like they were coming to life in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it looked like they were about to open.
Mm-hmm.
And I was waiting to see if they were going to turn on the open.
Do you remember if there was anybody inside?
I couldn't see inside from the outside. But after I came home and then went back to the smoke shop again later, when they definitely were open, I stopped in and got my vape juice finally. I don't remember the name of the guy working there, but he was like a skinny guy, short, skinny guy.
When you came back for the fob, did she go inside with you?
No, she was in the car still. She was asleep.
Where in the car?
Passenger side.
The front seat?
Correct.
Okay. Did she at any point go in the back of the vehicle, like in the back seat?
No.
So she was in the front the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Awake or asleep?
She was asleep.
Okay.
She was confident. We had gotten up early.
How was she positioned in the front seat?
Leaned back in the seat, just kind of conked out, napping.
Where was her head in relation to the seat?
Against the seat, I think. Against it. Just.
Was the seat leaning back, or
the seat was leaning back? Yeah, she had leaned the seat back so that she could recline and.
Okay. And then I need you to try to, refresh your memory. When you got the flat tire on 192, what could you see around you?
It's 192. It all looks the same.
He doesn't know what he saw around him. Doesn't have any idea. He never dropped her
I'm
off.
drawing a blank as any specific businesses or names.
Did he pull off to the side of the road to a business?
I pulled off into a side plaza, like one of those little strips along the side. Dug around for my spare and my jack. Thankfully, we had both.
What direction were you coming in?
I was going towards John Young.
Okay.
So that direction.
And it was a plaza. You don't remember any businesses that were in the plaza?
I don't. I was focused on the.
What color is the plaza?
Oh God, I have no idea what color the plaza was. I'm sorry, didn't even register a detail like that.
Okay, remind me again what you were doing on 192.
I was looking around at different game shops. One of my card games just had a release on Friday, Lorcana.
What card are you talking about?
It's like a trading card game. And they had a big release on Friday, so I wanted to go around.
What's the card though?
I'm sorry?
What is the game?
It's called Lorcana.
Lorcana?
Yeah, Lorcana. It's a trading card game made by Disney, kind of like Pokemon cards or Magic the Gathering.
Okay, and you stopped at what shop?
I stopped over by Target I was going to see if they had any. I then went up and was going to go to a place called House Rules Games. That is on 192 and Oak Street.
Mm-hmm.
I did not make it to House Rules Games because I got a flat tire.
Okay, which Target did you go to?
The one down on 192.
192 and what?
Is there more than one down there?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the area.
It's the one down there by the Walmart, I think. I'm not sure what the cross streets are. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish I could be more help. I'm so sorry.
See, over saying you're sorry is another sign of just deception and bullshit. That this guy between, I'm not a morning person, I have ADHD, I can't remember, I was so tired, so drugged up, I'm sorry. And good interviewers, good interrogators know this. So they're not amused by his being sorry.
And how long will you change your entire for?
I'm not sure how long it took. I got back here by like 2:35, 2:40, because I was trying to get home to go with her to go to school. And we needed to leave by 2:30. The flat tire made me late for that.
Okay. And there's absolutely nothing that you can remember about the plaza that you got the flat.
No, I don't remember color. I mean, it's all just kind of brownish, I think, along there.
And you said when you got your flat, you were heading towards JYP from 192.
Yes.
Okay, where's your flat tire at?
It's in the trunk.
Okay.
I've got the spare on there right now.
Yeah, I saw the spare. I don't think I have anything else. It's my phone number. If you can remember where you got your flat tire, just have her send me a text message, okay?
Okay. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I know the details are important, and just the way our brains work with ADHD is those things can get fuzzy.
Are you on any medication?
I'm supposed to be. I have not been medicated lately, so
Okay.
I'm not a morning person. I'm very time blind on the best of days and forgetful. So I understand that none of that is helpful in this case.
Okay.
I'm pretty sorry.
I explained that we're gonna have the apartment secured for the rest of the night. Okay?
Why? So the investigation is not going to happen tonight?
It is. So I explained to her, me and him have been out all day, right? So we're going to go home, but just because me and him are going home doesn't mean that there isn't other people out here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We have another unit out here, which is called Violent Crimes. They're out all night. So they're going to keep looking. We also have some of our detectives that were sent home earlier to get rest because they were going to come and relieve me and him, right? So we're going to take like shifts with the investigation because obviously if we're exhausted, we're of no use, right?
We're all exhausted too.
Right.
My brain is mush.
Right. And we don't want that to happen with anything that we're doing. So what we're doing is we're taking turns with whatever needs to be done. So we'll brief whoever's coming next and then, hey, this is what we did. This is what needs to be done. Okay. The reason we are keeping your house for the night is because your house cannot be completed by one person, right? We don't do that. We have a unit that comes and takes pictures and does whatever they need to do with the house. After a certain time, it's only one person working in that unit. And she can't do it by herself. So people come in at 8 o'clock in the morning. So when the rest of her squad comes in, they're going to come in and, tackle your place as a unit so that they can get it done quicker. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then I explained to her too, because in your car, we are going to also tow your car. Okay. It's going to go to our sheriff's office, which is at 2500 West Colonial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She said she needed to get her medication. You're not under any medication.
I have medication in the house, though, that I do need to get my blood pressure meds and anxiety meds as well.
Okay. So I'm going to try to figure out where all of this stuff is. Where's your stuff at?
Upstairs in the guest room currently.
In guest room number 4?
Yes. And it's on top of the mini refrigerator.
Is it on? Does it have your name on it?
Yes, all of it.
Okay. Where does she keep her? Where does she keep her medicine?
In her zipper case on her nightstand, I believe.
In the downstairs.
Correct.
What zipper?
It's like a little sort of brown zipper case. It's on her nightstand. So right on top of her.
Okay, so I can just bring the whole thing out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any bottles on top of the nightstand around it too, but you might want to grab those. Yeah, just.
Is there anything that you can recall that we haven't asked you? I know we asked you like a whole bunch of questions earlier, and we just asked you like a whole bunch more.
I don't know. My brain is so mush right now. I barely slept. I haven't eaten in 2 days. I'm trying to think of questions for you.
Can I see what shirt you're wearing?
What's that?
Can I see what shirt you're wearing?
Oh, yeah. Just a blue shirt.
Okay.
Remember what shirt you were wearing on Monday morning?
I believe it was this shirt. I'm still wearing the same shirt.
Have you showered since then or anything?
I showered the other night. No, not since yesterday. Sorry, your hair is even still greasy.
I know you got a cut, right, from...
Yeah, from changing the tire.
Do you mind if I see your arms?
Yeah, go for it. I haven't changed the tire.
Do you mind taking your sweater off?
It's cold, but yeah. Changed the tire.
She's checking his body for
made a rookie
wounds
mistake.
that could be
Got my thumb too close to
Madeline
the
defending
jack in the
herself
frame and
against him.
slipped. Pinned my thumb in between the frame and the jack.
To see if there's
I got
marks like
lucky. I
scratches
panicked
on
and
his
pulled
body.
out, which you're not supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of pain. I panicked.
And flip your hand over. Can you see the other arm?
Mm-hmm. Whatever my parents used for a tire iron.
Do you mind if I take a picture of the cut you got?
Yeah, go for it.
Let me see if the flash works. Okay. Can you go like this again?
Mm-hmm.
And then flip it over for me. And then we do this. Flip it over, please. Okay.
Is it good?
Yeah. She got her stuff. So let me go get your stuff and then you guys will be good to go. Okay, where are you guys gonna head? Do you know?
No idea.
Okay. Can you ask me an address of wherever you guys end up tonight?
I think my dad's on his way down too.
So basically, that interview is over. He didn't like it when she told him that he couldn't go home tonight because they're doing search warrants on the house. They're going to be taking his car. Do you think it occurred to him at that point that he's a suspect? Do you think it occurred to him yet? Or you think he's that much of a dope that he didn't figure it out yet? That he hasn't figured it out He hasn't figured it out yet that he's a suspect, but they're doing all these search warrants. They're interrogating him for hours, but he's not a morning person. He probably didn't figure it out yet. I just want to play this quick about some of the documents on this case.
Kissimmee police just released more new documents from the investigation. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth joins us live now. So, Randy, what have you learned?
Hey, good evening to you both. So yes, this new round of documents has come from the Kissimmee Police Department, and it gives the investigators a view of how they work this case, specifically with this department. As you mentioned, it gives more information into how Maddie allegedly died. It also has more interviews with Maddie's mom, also an interview with their roommate about what she heard the day Maddie was reported missing.
Just days after Maddie Soto turned 13 years old, she was killed. Fox 35 has learned the medical examiner believes she was strangled to death. That's what's listed in new case reports released by the Kissimmee Police Department. Death as strangulation, and the manner of death is homicide. Maddie's mom's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, is charged in the teen's murder. The new reports also note a roommate who lived with Maddie and her mom, Jennifer Soto, noticed things were off the day the teen disappeared. The woman told police she heard loud noises around 2:30 in the morning coming from Sterns' room, saying it sounded like someone was, quote, putting things on a table. In a police interview, Soto said she had told Maddie to sleep in Sterns' room so that she could get, quote, a good night's rest. She says he was going upstairs and downstairs and in and out of the apartment that morning. Also washing clothes, which she says she'd never seen him do. Sterns told police he dropped Maddie off near Hunters Creek Middle School in the morning of February 26th, but police say that never happened. Her body was found March 1st in a grassy area near St. Cloud in Osceola County. Detectives noted her socks were clean, which they say indicate she was placed there and didn't walk there. During the initial search for Maddie, investigators say they also found video evidence that Sterns allegedly sexually abused the teen. Kissimmee detectives noted that Maddie's mom, Jennifer Soto, testified she didn't know of the alleged abuse until after Maddie was missing. When asked what she thought Sterns was guilty of, she reportedly told a detective, quote, "He's been grooming and abusing my child." The report notes when asked if she thought Sterns killed Maddie, she said, quote, "At this point, I do."
Sterns has a status hearing coming up in October.
So unbelievable, you know, and I just want to ask a question, play devil's advocate. At what point did it occur to Madeline Soto that Stephan Sterns killed her daughter? At what point? When did she realize that's what happened? When did she realize that? I just, to me, it's I just don't get it. I just don't get at what point did she realize some bad things were occurring, and then at what point did she realize that that he killed her daughter? I just want to play this last thing. This is Stephan Sterns' mom. And we talk about enablers. These are two enablers.
Sunday, I would have said no, never in a million years. He loved that child that was supposed to be his stepdaughter if they stayed together. He helped raise her. He was not allowed to discipline her. Maddie did that. Jim did that. But he acted as a peacekeeper. But no. And to kill her? No. I think if I had to put forward a guess, I would think that it was accidental.
Here's Stephan Sterns' father, Chris Sterns.
I said, do we really know our son? Because at that point, I didn't know what to question. But
apparently not, from some of the stuff that's coming out of these calls into Greg Hughes.
That interview was in March. In April, detectives made note of a jail phone call between Chris Sterns and Stephan Sterns. During the call, detectives quote Stephan Sterns as saying, "You know that I would never have wanted that for her," meaning Madeline. Stephan then said, "I am not really sure that any one person is specifically responsible. It's probably a combination of factors that led to it. I have never felt anything like that before. It was horrible." Chris tells Stephan that he hopes the truth will come out, and Stephan responds, Well, yeah. The next day, Chris Sterns called police after he found a hard drive in his storage unit that he said had been removed from Stephan's computer. Investigators said it had been analyzed and not used since 2020, but contained 35,000 images of child pornography, but none of Maddie. Chris Sterns had told detectives that he actually believed Jen Soto had some responsibility for her daughter's murder.
I mean, look at her hugging him and consoling him at that interview, knowing full well what the truth is. And I think Stephan's decided to be the fall guy in this because he's feeling remorse over the inappropriate relationship he had with Maddie, and that since if he's going to be discovered in this, that he's going to be the front guy in this. But she's just as culpable as he is in this.
There have been a lot of questions about whether Jen Soto could face charges for allowing Maddie to sleep in a bed with Stephan Sterns. WFTV reported last week that police have no plans to charge Jen Soto. I contacted the state attorney's office for that area, and I was told, quote, the current evidence and information support the indictment of Stephan Sterns for first-degree murder. They wouldn't say anything more.
So, just horrific. And I don't believe that they can never or will never charge Jennifer Soto. I think that they can charge her because there's no statute of limitations for homicide. I tried to explain a little bit about the interview and the interrogation, about the time that it occurred and what the detectives were doing. And I hope that that came through and we understood a little more about what was going on in their minds as this was occurring, the methodology, the art and the science of investigation, because I think that's very important. A lot of very interesting things came out in the last few days with this case, and we will keep following this case. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. I didn't think that I was going to stay on this long, but you start covering something like this, that this is so interesting, and having a great group of people in the chat. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff. Have a great night, everyone, and God bless.
One episode just ain't enough.